So now our interest would be to look at scenario-based questions, and I think some of you might have had a look at scenario-based questions. So let me show you few samples of scenario-based questions and how do we actually go about attempting these questions. Okay, so say for example, I will start with the CCBA drill questions. Just to give you a brief about this platform, usually if you have taken a test, you will get three options. One is called restart. That means you want to wipe out your past data. Resume means you left somewhere in the middle and you want to start again. And there is a third option which is called review, where you actually can see the answers to the question, why those answers are correct, and what did you choose. So that's what the review mode does to you. So I will start with restart.
Which one is this one again? Sorry.
Restart. It will be start or restart. That's the first time when you are doing. Restart means you want to take the test again.
From where did you get the test, by the way? Which task?
No, not task. It's just the buttons that I was showing you. 1 second, maybe I will.
No. I'm asking from which tab did you pull that? Under questions?
Yes, under questions. I just kind of chose scenario based for today because that's what I'm going to discuss today. The request is first you do fundamental, then competency, then scenario based. This is the order in which you go for the test. This is something that comes for ECBA, not for CCBA or CBAP. That's why I'm not doing it for you, where these questions are much simpler. The questions that will come for CCBA and CBAP are scenario based, and for CBAP you will get case study based questions, which we will discuss little later. Maybe tomorrow part of it will be discussed by Laura, and next Saturday I will discuss the other part. Okay.
When I click on scenario based, LN, I don't see three tests. I see the BA planning, I see the warm-up level 2. I don't see the drill, BA planning and monitoring.
Which one don't you see? This one?
This one, yeah.
That would be, have you taken CCBA or CBAP?
CBAP.
Then this probably will not apply to you so much.
Oh, is that why I don't see it?
Yes.
Okay.
But the complexity level of CCBA questions, this is actually the same thing as this.
Oh, it is?
Okay. It is same thing, just that we rename it for you so that you don't feel that it's a CCBA question. We just call it as warm-up level 2, but it's nothing but CCBA drill question. Okay. I can actually show you. I think it should be same. That's what is my understanding, but let's check. Suppose we go to restart. This is the question 1. Then we go back to the other question and take the same thing. Take the same thing. Here you see the start button because this quiz has not been attempted yet. Oh, they seem to be having different questions actually, which is little surprising, but that's okay. The complexity levels are more or less same, or is it same? Let me take a snapshot. To my knowledge, this should be same, but in case our technical guys have done something different, let me check. Let me put this one, and let me put the other one. Okay, where's the other one? This one. Again, scenario based. This one. Restart. It's actually same. That's what I knew that they'll be same, but I just wanted to be confirmed. Okay. So either you do one or other, it doesn't matter. It's the same question set. Okay. So if you look at the questions, how they appear, usually they would have 3 to 4 lines. Here, of course, it is 2 lines, the second line being a bit long. Otherwise, generally, the questions will be of 3 to 4 lines. They would pertain to a situation in which you will be asked to do few things. One, maybe, you would be asked to choose what kind of scenario-based questions we usually get. Just 1 second. Typical scenario-based questions. Choose right task. What task you need to do once you finish certain task. Choose right technique. Choose right stakeholders. Yeah, usually these are the main category of questions that you will choose. Sometimes there'll be a relationship between outputs from a particular knowledge area or a task. This is also something, outputs from specific tasks / knowledge areas. This is something also you would be asked. Okay. So one of the key references for us would actually be the mind maps that we have created. So let me go to the mind maps. Go to study guides. Okay. So here is the mind map. Okay. So I trust all of you are very familiar with this mind map.
Familiar but not memorized.
Okay, I would request you to kind of memorize. We don't ask you to memorize much, but this is one diagram. It will be helpful for you to kind of keep it in your back of your mind. This can help you to understand which task comes after which task, what outputs get generated in the process, where does the output come. Okay, so this is a very, very fundamental map for BAPOC. So please take a printout of this map in a slightly bigger scale, because what we have given you in the book is very small, because we have to look at the orientation, paper size and all that. Ideally, at least print it on an A4 sheet so that you get a slightly bigger picture, and then keep it with you. And every day for 1 or 2 minutes, please have a look at this map and try to understand what this map is trying to tell you. Maybe I'll just do a quick revision because I feel that is very helpful. So remember, we start with a business need, because without a business need, nothing happens. And BAPOC expects us to do planning before we do other activities. Sometimes people ask me, LN, isn't it strategy analysis that should come first? We sometimes feel like that because we think strategy is above planning. But this is IT strategy analysis. This is not enterprise strategy analysis. And for IT strategy analysis, we need to have a plan. So anything that we do, we should have a plan. That is why planning has been kind of earmarked as the first knowledge area. And if you see, the plan comes out here and it kind of drives everything else. So from the business need, we also get into elicitation. And that gives us, actually, I should not call it a stakeholder requirement. Maybe a better term would actually be high level requirement. Usually stakeholder requirements are high level, but I think it's better to use the word high level requirement than calling it a stakeholder requirement. So we get high level requirements. And please understand, once we have the high level requirement with us, it makes it a lot more sense to come up with our IT strategy, which is what we decide, whether we build, we buy, whatever strategy we would like to adopt, that comes here. And then as we have high level requirements kicking in, our requirements lifecycle management process also starts the moment there is a business need identified. In fact, there should be a connection here as well, which I did not provide, which is not right. So this is a missing link here, which you can put in your book as well. So this missing link I will put. Okay, so once our high level requirements are kind of maintained, prioritized, and then approved that this is the right requirement to work on, then we get into a phase of requirement analysis where we actually do deep diving. So we understand the requirements at greater detail, we verify them, we validate them, we document them, and then of course we look at design options and choose a particular design option or a solution. So this kind of completes our project activities, and post-project activities could be something like this, where we are actually evaluating the performance of our solution and thinking whether the solution has resulted in the right value. So for example, I'll just give you a project that we did about 3 months back, and our intent was to improve our website speed from 6 seconds to 2 seconds. So let me see if we achieved that result. Suppose if I go to Pingdom, this is a tool that can help us to measure our website performance. So I'm just going here and solutions, not solutions, product. Where are tools? Pingdom tools. Tutorials. Oh, they have changed the platform a little bit. Pingdom tools. Here it is. Okay. So let me test our website speed from Washington DC, just for an example purpose. And let's take a test. Actually a good tool. Some of you should use this tool. It's free as well. There's no charge. And you see our load time is 1.79 seconds. And our target is to be within 2 seconds. So that means this project has yielded the required result. Happy state. But we need to keep monitoring the solution performance. Maybe over time the solution performance degrades for some reason, and then it actually crosses the 2 second limit, which means we have to again go back and do some work on our side to bring it back to 2 seconds. Okay, but this is only one page that you are seeing. Suppose I take a look at another internal page which is important to us, and that page is still outside the target. So you can actually see that. So that is what we are trying to work on that page, so that all the pages that are important to us, they are within 2 seconds. So if you look at it, see this is 3 seconds. That means some part of the solution is okay, not all parts are okay. Okay. So that is what we do as part of this solution evaluation, and then kind of figure out why it is wrong, right, what can be done, and how we can bring the solution within our target value. So this is one thing that you always keep in mind. The circular ones are the outputs, the rectangular ones are the tasks, and there is a number given to the task, which means typically number 23 happens after number 22. Okay, and sometimes you'll find the tasks to be placed in parallel like this and this, which means these tasks can be performed simultaneously, whereas some tasks you will find they have been placed in a serial way. That means it is usually this task should happen only after you have come to some kind of a closure on this task. So there are tasks which are serial, there are tasks which are parallel, there are inputs. The red ones are the key deliverables. The other colors are the intermediate deliverables. So many inputs are available on this map alone. So please take a look at this map. And as far as possible, keep it in your back of your mind. Okay. The other document
Ellen,
that
I'm sorry, do we get to take like one piece of paper or anything into the test?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You are not allowed to carry anything to the test, but
Okay.
the exam center may provide you with some kind of a scribble board. They may provide you a scribble board, but that they do it just before the exam. Like they give you the board, then they ask you to get into the room and take the test. They don't give you a time to write your thoughts.
Okay, thank you.
Do you recommend that we draw up the chart quickly in 2 seconds before we get in on the scribble board?
I don't try to pressurize yourself so much. Trying to redraw this map will take you time. Don't do that. So don't get into a mode that I have to reproduce something. No, it's not required. As long as your understanding is good on the subject, you are good to go. Don't kind of pressurize your mind with so many things to remember, so many tasks to remember. No, it's mainly what I would say is remember the tasks as per knowledge area, the order in which they appear, and the key inputs and the key outputs. That's all. And I think this map is not that hard. If you look at it 10 times or 15 times, it'll come to you. Don't worry.
Yes. What's the passing grade?
We don't know. We don't know. Neither IIBA tells us anything. But what we trust is if you score 70% plus in each knowledge area, you should be pretty good to go. And that is why our internal benchmark is little higher, because the questions can be bit more difficult than what we have given. So we get mixed feedback. Sometimes people come back and say, LN, the questions were exactly same or very similar to what you wrote. Sometimes they'll say, no. The questions were a lot tougher. So we don't know whom to trust, and it is a bit of a random exercise as well. So some random bad luck also happens to people. We have seen some people are little lucky, they get good questions. Some people are little less lucky, they get tough questions. But we should go prepared with tough questions so that even if tough questions come, we still can handle them. Okay,
Thanks.
Mohammed?
I think I'm ready now.
Okay, very good.
I wish.
Then we go to this particular document that I showed and created. So let's quickly look at this document. This can be very helpful for choosing the right technique. So first, if you are trying to find cost, effort, or schedule, use estimation techniques. Within estimation technique, there are different scenarios. I will talk about it. If you want to find a likely value for a project, look at financial analysis. You want to make a decision, use decision analysis or decision modeling. You want to generate ideas, use brainstorming. You want to plan your activities, use functional decomposition and estimation. You want to get inputs from a large number of stakeholders, use survey or questionnaire. You want to get a consensus among stakeholders, workshop is a good technique. You want to check the quality of requirements document, use review. Discuss a topic in depth, use focus group. Understand context from available information, use document analysis. Describe statuses of an entity, use state diagram. Show interaction between various entities, sequence diagram. Show process steps, activity diagram. Show relationship between various entities in a solution, use class diagram. Describe requirements from a user perspective, user story. List stakeholders for a project, stakeholder list. Group stakeholders, stakeholder map. Let me see if I have included RACI matrix here. Oh, I have included. Okay, that's good. I thought I have not included. Then you want to group stakeholders based on some characteristic, stakeholder map. You want to visualize a stakeholder group persona. Assign responsibilities to stakeholders, RISI matrix. Estimate without much information, expert opinion. Estimate with past data, parametric estimate. Estimate with multiple experts, Delphi. Estimate within budget, so you have a budget, top down. Estimate by dividing the solution, it's bottom up. Build fun activity in a workshop, collaborative games. Break a larger aspect to something more manageable, functional decomposition. Describe interaction between, actually this is two types of entities. This is a mistake I will have to correct. So that is interface analysis. Describe your organization structure, use org model. Describe aspects in solution scope, scope model. Understand physical operations, observation. Understand user requirements by building a mock product, prototype. Explain terms in a domain, glossary. Describe concepts in a tree-like structure, mind map. Plan and track remaining work using backlog. Describe rules followed in business, business rules analysis. Capture learnings from a project, lessons learned. Rank remaining work, prioritization. Track issues and action items, item tracker. Define must-have requirements, acceptance criteria. Define parameters to choose between multiple options, evaluation criteria. Define measures of success, metrics and KPI. Understand process performance and challenges, process analysis. Underlying cause of a problem, root cause analysis. Select a suitable supplier, vendor assessment. Understand and predict data patterns, data mining. Quality attributes of a solution, non-functional requirements. Specific privileges for various roles, roles and permissions matrix. Data elements of a solution, data dictionary. Data flow diagram. Holistic performance of measure, balance scorecard. Depict capabilities and organizational performance, business capability analysis. Provide justification for a proposed investment, business case. Fundamental building blocks of a business model canvas. Make decisions under uncertainty, decision analysis. Compute financial performances, financial analysis. Understand and manage possible negative consequences for a change, risk analysis. Understand external situation and organizational strengths and weaknesses, SWOT analysis. This 3 pages is something that I would expect you to kind of be very comfortable. Is it very hard?
Where is this located?
It's still not put in Succeed, so I'll mail it to all of you today. But by next week, we will put it in Succeed.
Thanks.
So this is one more simple 3-page document which can help you to answer a lot of questions. Okay. Now I think it's good time to take some questions and see how we are doing. So we will start with Max and go up. Maybe up to Iris, I will go for this chapter. And from Ilham. Ilham, is that the right way to tell your name?
Yes, it is.
What does it mean?
It means inspiration.
Oh, wow. Very good. Nice name.
Yeah, it's original. It's a Persian name. I'm not Persian, but it's a Persian name. But it means inspiration.
Oh, very good. I learned a new word today.
Okay.
It's a very common name in Egypt as well, I think.
Possibly.
In Egypt. I'm from Sudan, so it's very close.
Okay. How far is Sudan from Tanzania? Very far or not very far?
From Tanzania, I think it's a little far.
A little
Sudan
far?
is East
Okay.
Africa. Sudan is East Africa, but where's Tanzania? I forgot.
Tanzania is East Africa as well.
Yeah,
it is East Africa. I was there for 2 weeks. So.
Oh, where in East Africa?
I went to Tanzania. There's a place called Dodoma. I don't know whether you would know. That's the new capital for Tanzania.
Okay.
That's where I
Nice.
was. Yeah. A lovely place,
Okay.
actually. Yeah, very nice place. It's very similar to the climate that we face in India as well. It's like warm with the same vegetation.
Mm. Yeah, there is a lot of similarities. In Sudan, even our national dress looks like the Indian sari. So,
okay.
yep.
Nice to know.
I think, yeah, Mauritania and Sudan, the national dress. But I
Okay.
think that's the British colonization impact.
Possible, yes. Possible,
Yeah,
yes.
very possible, yeah.
Okay. Good. So, Max, the first question goes to you. Max, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, just give
Okay.
me a second. It's music.
Okay, please read the question. Okay, just one small tip. You should be answering each of the scenario questions within a minute. That is the speed that you have to capture because you have 130 questions to answer in 3 hours. So 3 hours is 180 minutes divided by 1.130. It's little close to 1.5 minutes, but you need to keep some time for your review and other activities. So try to answer a question within a minute. That is the right speed that you should try.
All of them or just a scenario-based question?
Only scenario-based questions, I'm saying. Case-based questions we'll discuss later. Okay. Max, ready?
C.
Okay. Rusali.
Of the start of the requirement planning.
Okay. Brushali, what would be your answer? Brushali, I am not able to hear you. Very strange. I never heard her actually today. Okay. Tasa, what would be your choice?
The third one.
The third one. Okay. Both of you are right. And I'm glad that both of you got it right. So remember, the project approach comes first before business analysis approach. So fundamentally, even though we use the word business analysis quite a lot in BABAC, it's primarily about requirements analysis. That's why requirement analysis has such high weight in the exam. So if you remember your SDLC life cycle, you remember that typical SDLC is plan, then requirements, then design, then code, then test, and then deploy and maintain. So this is the typical SDLC most companies follow. So we come here as business analysts. So we are trying to find out the right requirements for the solution, what's in scope, what's not in scope, all those kind of things is our responsibility. But the project planning typically happens before we do our detailed planning. Okay. Okay. This question goes to Ron. Ron?
Yeah, I'm here. Just reading
Okay.
through it.
Please read and tell me what is your choice. It's actually a little hard question.
I'm just guessing the second one.
Sure. Yes.
Did you hear what Ron said?
No.
Sorry, B, second one. I'm just guessing.
Oh, okay.
Probably wrong, but my guess.
Okay. Rick?
I am going to, I'm going to agree with him.
Okay. Actually, Ron is right. And if you read the simple statement, what we are trying to do, one, obviously we are trying to assess the vendors. So vendor assessment is part of the process, and that itself kind of gives you that idea, saying KPIs are there, must-haves, provide weightages, and then of course we are choosing the criteria list, which will typically be part of your evaluation criteria. Okay, good. So we're almost getting all the questions right. Nidhi.
Yes. Maybe B.
Okay. Yaroslav.
Actually, I will go for C.
Okay. Nidhi, C is the right option, what Yaroslav told. From BABAC perspective, all our deliverables must be understandable to our stakeholders.
Okay.
Good. Here is one tip which you can remember for your exam. This is a tip which Peter does not like. So I removed it from the presentation deck and the study guide as well. If I am clueless, I go with option C.
Oh, really?
Okay.
I used to have those tips at university.
True, true. So if I'm clueless completely about the question, I have no clue what could be the answer. I'm simply not getting the question in my mind. I simply choose C. The reason why you should choose at least one consistent letter, and that possibly could be B or C, whatever you like, is there is no negative marking. So when you don't attempt a question, you anyway get 0. If you attempt and you get it wrong, you get 0. So there's no negative penalty. But if you are lucky, maybe you get that score. So do not leave any question unanswered. Answer all questions. If you don't know the answer, simply put C and then leave it.
So why C?
Why C? I don't know. That's my personal preference. Okay, and there is no scientific reason behind it. But usually what people have said is the chance that C is right is higher than A, B, and D. For some reason.
I think we need a bell curve for that one, Alan.
Yeah, maybe, yes. Maybe C comes in the center or something. That's why the probability of C being right is little higher. That's what people say. Okay.
Can we discuss this question? Because I was leaning towards A to get all the artifacts to be consistent.
True. See, okay, that's a good thing, Auburn. Remember, that could be an expectation in your organization. That is not an expectation in BABAC. So please do not apply your organizational context or information to BABAC. See, all the answers have to be correct and mentioned in BABAC. So typically what we do when we write a question, this is what we need to do as question setters. Let me just show you a document. Maybe that will help you with this one. Maybe this one. I'll open the document. This 1 second. Suppose I go to any section, say at the end, we have this chapter and questions and answers. Okay, so these are the questions. This is how, we have to provide the answers to IIBA or anybody, not we alone. Whoever is creating question for IIBA, they have to very clearly mention where does it appear in BABOK.
Okay.
So that is why all the questions need to have a reference to BABOK. So if something is not mentioned in BABOK, it's not something that you should accept as an option. Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, I know I need to read the BABOK because right now probably my work brain would take over on answering these questions.
True. Don't allow that. And this is what I observe with people who have good number of years of experience. So 15 years, 20 years experience. Then you start questioning BABOK itself, whether BABOK is right, BABOK is wrong. Sometimes I feel there are few aspects in BABOK which are clearly wrong, but I should not dispute BABOK in the exam. I can dispute BABOK outside the exam, that's fine, but not within the exam. Within the exam, stick to what is mentioned in BABOK. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Then let me go to the next question, and this goes to Iris. Iris, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm just trying to read the question.
Sure. This one request to all of you. If I am telling your name, just say yes or okay. That means I know that you have started up preparing for the question. Otherwise, I may think that you did not hear me. That's what I will tell. Okay, so go ahead, Iris.
I would go with A.
Okay. Ilham?
Yes, I'm still reading through it. Just give me 1 minute.
Sure.
Please.
Can I change my answer to C?
Okay, no problem. You can change. Let me listen from Ilham. What does C say?
Okay. I will say B, have a brainstorming session with a stakeholder. But they already put the requirements out there. So this question is about validating the solution scope with the stakeholder. I would go with A. 1 second. No. In this case, if it's a validation for the solution scope, I would go with C also.
Very good. Both of you are right. Remember, requirements workshop's primary objective is to get requirements. Brainstorming's primary purpose is to ideate, whereas walkthrough is generally used for validation. or verification. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
Ellen, I have a question here.
Yes.
Yeah, so option C is plan a requirements walkthrough, and option A is conduct a requirements workshop. So it is, isn't it option C is the planning only and conducting the workflow?
See, obviously, if you're planning something, you will do it. It's not that you will not do conduct. See, remember, this is okay. So I trust this is something either Laura or somebody would have talked to you. See, all standards worldwide have been framed on a very simple framework, which is called PDCA. PDCA, which means anything that you want to do, you should plan for it, then execute it or do, then check, then act. So obviously, if you are planning, you will do the work, not that you will not do the work.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, so we had gone up to Ilham. Maybe one more question let me take from this chapter, then we can switch to the other chapter. This one goes to Gopi.
By the way, what's the answer for that question?
The previous one, it is to plan a requirements walkthrough. Okay.
So walkthrough is like something like that we already know what we want, right? The question is asking whether we need to find how to finalize the solution scope. So doesn't that mean that we need to just first identify what the scope is, like brainstorming some and then identify the scope first?
No, you already have the requirements kind of written down, or a draft scope is available to you. You want to finalize it. So typically finalization happens through a review. If you're looking at finalize anything, you generally do a review and say, okay, this is accepted, this is not accepted, or whatever. And then finally you come up with an output.
Yeah, from the question how I got is like that they at the initial stage trying to, scope what's the scope that they're trying to discuss about or elicit on the requirement. So you decide that requirements is already there because of the word that solution scope.
No. I'm looking at the word validate. The key word to observe is what is the task that they're planning to perform. They're planning to validate the solution scope, and validation does not require an ideation. Ideation means what? You create ideas. Even validation would not happen for a requirements elicitation. Once you complete your elicitation, you get into validation. And this is what we are trying to do in this particular scenario.
Okay, so the keyword is validating.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, just one more tip for all of you. There can be questions which are really hard. They will not make sense to you. Please do not break your head on such questions. Let them go. Okay. I personally have seen questions and I attempted CBAP, CCBA V3. Imagine my situation. I am a trainer. I am a practicing business analyst for so many years. I have read BABOK 20 times minimum over last 10 years. Even then, some questions went over my head. So I don't know how these questions were approved. To my knowledge, they should not be approved. But the question creation process is also very weak. It's left to a project manager who does not belong to the business analysis world. So C primarily looks at the language perspective and those things, not necessarily the content part of it. So for some reason, one expert or other have come up with some crazy questions. So please let them go. Don't break your head. And it is better for us to avoid answering or avoid spending time on those questions. Put C and go ahead. Okay, good. Then the last question.
Yeah, so no, I think this is for me, right? So this is, I would say, the last one. Number 4, determining appropriate requirements analysis and documentation activities.
Very good. That is the right answer. Okay. Who is caller 02? Who is that person? Because the name doesn't appear. So for me, it's a little hard to know who is that person. Somebody on phone with the name caller 02? I'm not sure. Okay. No worries. So let's take few questions from requirements elicitation as well. Then we'll take a break and we will come back and continue. So let's go to elicitation knowledge area and try to find some questions from there. So this question goes to caller 02. Is that Gopi? No, I don't think. Gopi spoke just now. Okay. If I don't get the name, I'll go to Auburn. Auburn, this question is for you.
Okay.
I have a different set of questions when I click on that same test or same quiz.
That would be strange. Send me a snapshot. I'll take a look.
Oh, sorry. You're in CCBA. I'm in CBAP.
Ah, no. Okay. Don't worry.
Yeah.
The system is that way consistent. So don't worry. Actually, we would like to randomize the questions. That's our aim. But it is still not done. Maybe sometime in future, we would actually randomize the questions and randomize the options as well.
So I'm kind of between the first and the last answer, and I'm sure once I've read the BABOK, I would know one of those terms isn't in there.
Okay. This actually question is little. Sorry, this question is little ambiguous, which I have to correct and talk to Fatima. The question that we wanted to ask is, what kind of questions do you ask in an interview? Do you ask open-ended questions first and then close-ended, or the other way? So the way to answer this question is, usually when we start an interview, we first ask open-ended questions, then kind of come to the close-ended questions.
Right, okay.
The term structured and unstructured is for interview. In a structured interview, you have set up questions which you ask. In an unstructured interview, you don't have set up questions. You basically build your questions on the fly. That's the difference between structured and unstructured interview. Okay.
Could you give an example of an open-ended versus a closed-ended?
Questions? Okay, let me write down. Okay. Say open-ended. Was that Rick or who asked this question?
Mohammed.
Mohammed, okay. So Mohammed, so if I ask you this question, what kind of music interests you? Is there a definitive answer I'm expecting from you?
I would say yes.
No, but you're open. You can write whatever music you like. You can say classical, Western, whatever. Maybe you have some local music which you like, folk music or whatever. But if I give you a choice saying, Mohammed, please tell me, do you like English music, Arabic music, some other music, and I expect you to choose from those options, then that is a close-ended question.
Yeah, thanks.
So in close-ended question, the choice set is limited. In open-ended question, the choice set is really large. We don't know. So sometimes we can call them as descriptive question, prescriptive question, something like that also people may tell you. Okay, then this question goes to Angel.
Yes. We'll say C.
C for Charlie. Is that what you said?
The third option, observation prototype.
Okay. Amar?
Yeah, I will also go for C.
Okay. Now between two of you, is observation something that you study or is it a technique?
Technique.
It's a technique. But what it is asking you, what can you study? So study usually is a document. You can study a document. So among these options, which option points to documents?
Supporting materials, scheduled resources.
No. Supporting materials also can be non-document. Say supporting materials is
assets.
Yes.
Okay.
Say supporting materials can be document, can be non-document as well. Scheduled resources are usually non-documents like a classroom or a discussion room or a video conferencing system. That is what we usually call it as supporting materials.
Okay.
Anything that you need to conduct an elicitation. Whereas organizational assets and requirements management plan pertains to documents. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Then next question goes to Amar.
Okay.
What would you go with, Amar?
I'm confused between A and D.
A and D.
D.
Okay. Muhammad?
I would say provide the right information to stakeholders during the session.
Okay. Max?
Because
Sorry, I'll come back to you. Don't worry. Max?
I go with A.
Okay.
Enforce this.
Okay. Muhammad and Amar, in this particular question, all four options are correct. Right. Okay. But the option that the question setter is looking for is option A, because that is the primary duty. The remaining three are secondary duty. Like as a business analyst, you may perform some testing, but is that your primary responsibility? No. Your primary responsibility is to develop requirements. Okay. Similarly, the primary responsibility of the facilitator is to enforce discipline and ground rules. Does it make it clear to you, Amar?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Maybe the next question I will ask Mohammed.
Sorry, the answer was A, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I'm ready.
Sure. Okay. Mohammed, there is a very simple technique which a lot of people use during test taking, which is called elimination. That means if you find any of the options totally outrageous, you can actually eliminate them. So do you think any of these options are actually completely wrong?
Yes.
Which one?
Second one.
Second one is clearly wrong. There is no such expectation in BABOK that somebody needs to have a 5 years experience. No. Okay. So now you have 3 choices left for you and you should eliminate the next one. Which one would you like to eliminate?
The last one.
Okay, very good. So now you have done the second elimination. Now between the last two, which one would you like to eliminate?
The third one.
Okay. Brushali, are you there in the call? I never heard you actually. Maybe in the beginning I heard you.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Okay. What's your choice?
Right. I would also say I would eliminate the third one.
Okay. Maybe
they're both right.
They both are right. But what is mentioned in BABOK? In BABOK.
I would go with.
Yes, sorry, Brusali.
No, I'm Nidhi.
Okay. You said something, Nidhi.
Yeah, actually, I would go with C as per my opinion.
Correct. It is in BABOK, there is a mention that if you want to choose somebody for focus group, you have to choose them carefully. Of course, you should not choose somebody who is not ready to participate. Maybe sometimes you may choose them as well to kind of get some insights or something. But generally, a person is not opening up. Would a group setting be better or a one-on-one setting will be better? If a person is not willing to open up.
One-on-one.
One-on-one would always be better to kind of make a person feel comfortable. Usually people are less comfortable in a group setting. So ready to participate is not mentioned in BABOK, but be pre-qualified is mentioned in BABOK. That is why reading BABOK thoroughly is expected. Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing too, just rereading the question when it says develop a new product which would add value to the customer, you would want to know who understands that. So I think pre-qualification, you could be ready to participate, but you have no idea if this product would add value because you're not experienced.
True. Okay, then the last question for this one, that goes to Thasa.
Okay.
I think you got a very simple one actually, Thasa. Get it quite quickly. I should downgrade this to ECBA actually. This seems to be a bit simpler for CCBA, but maybe you're lucky you get few questions which are simple as well. Tasa?
Yep. The third one?
Very right. That is the purpose of this particular task. It's actually quite straight question if you see. If you would have read the task descriptions, that will appear. Okay. Good. So I think it's a good time to take a short break. So it's almost more than an hour that I have been holding you. So let's take a 15-minute break and we will come back and continue from here. Okay.